Hello, my name is Josh Ring, and this is my video for Homework 2 Part 2. In this video, the goal is to write code that will extract information, like data from a website. The website we will be using today is the Dortmund Data Bank. They have a table of data with different temperatures and pressures that relate to water and what state it would be in at those temperatures and pressures. So the first thing we need to do is open GitHub and the Dortmund Data Bank, which I already have here. So then the first thing we need to type will be from LXML import HTML, and this is a function in Colaboratories which will allow us to extract an HTML from a website. Enter. So the next thing we will need to type is import requests. And this is a module in Python which will allow us to extract further information from the HTML. And then the next thing we need to do is import NumPy. This is a mathematical library which just has a bunch of different functions and features that will allow us to create the array for our data later, and we do it as NP, which will shorten it for when we type it later so we don't have to keep typing NumPy. And then I'll just shift enter to start a new box. And so the next thing we're going to need to type is URL equals. And then the URL that we will be using, I already have pulled up from your GitHub website. So we'll just Control C and paste it there. And then we'll hit enter on that. I do need to add a few little things. Okay. Alright, next we need to type content equals. This will create the variable content for us. This is where we will use the request feature. So after that, we type requests dot get URL dot content, and this will just allow us to get more content from the website and store it into our variable content. So the next thing we need to the next thing we need to do is create a variable, and we'll name it tree. This will extract content from our HTML. So we need to type HTML dot from string, and then in parentheses content. This will just bring information in as a string and store it in the variable tree. The next thing we need to do is create a variable for the temperature. So we'll type T underscore strings, and then when we import this stuff, we will have it as an XPath. So we type tree.xpath. And then we get this information from the Dortmund Data Bank. What we do is we go to the website, right click here on the temperature, hit inspect, and then it'll pull up code from the website. We just right click here, go to copy, get copy XPath, and then we'll go back into our GitHub and paste it in there. Adding this stuff. And then what we're going to need to do is for this variable tr right here, we're going to need to get rid of the bracket 2. What this will do is excuse me, sorry. This will just pull all of the different values from the table that they have on their website instead of just pulling the specific ones, the entire row of data. So now that's good. Now we're just going to have to import the pressures. So we'll basically type the exact same thing as the line of code beforehand, just changing P for T. And then we'll go ahead back to the Dortmund website. We can get rid of this, and then we'll go to the pressure right here. We'll inspect it and copy the XPath. Go back to our GitHub. And then we'll do the exact same thing as we did for the last one. Have to do a little bit of editing to the code. There is good. And then we'll Shift Enter, starting a new box. And the next thing we need to do is to create a variable where we will be able to store our data. So we'll just call it data. And so we type data equals, and then we need to type np dot array, and this will allow us to create an array using the numpy feature. So then we'll use the temperatures and pressure strings that we got, or that we created in the last box. So we'll add that to the array. You can just click it here to save a little bit of time. And then we'll have to, finally, after that, we'll type as type, and then in parentheses, np.float64. And what this does is it just takes the data from the array and it'll change it into it changes its type into a 64-bit float. So then we're done with that box, so Shift Enter, and then for the final one that we have, we'll we just have to create a new variable for temperature. So we'll just do this one as T because it's not in the string anymore. So we'll do T equals data, and then brackets 0 comma colon, and then finish off with the brackets, and this just creates a new array for our temperatures that we will be able to physically see later. And then we have to do that exact same thing for our pressure, but there's a little twist to it. So what we have to do is we have to convert it to pascals, and then we also need to take the log of it so that it fits the Anton equation. So we'll just call it log underscore PV, and then we'll set that equal to np dot log 10. This is the log feature from NumPy, and then 1,000 because we were changing it to pascals, times data, and then brackets. We'll do 1 comma colon bracket, and then we have to finish it off with a parenthesis, and then that's done. And then now we can just type